doing today, folks? 28th of December. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Tea Party and how these liberal foundations and these talking heads have came out recently and said, look, this isn't your country anymore, Tea Party people. The Tea Party's dead. So we're going to listen to this mainstream media stuff. This Fox right here. Only play it just to let you see what the media talking heads are saying.
In the Back of the Book segment tonight, the Tea Party enjoyed enormous success following the election of President Obama in 2008, helping the Republicans to gain control of the House. But in last month's election, many Tea Party candidates suffered losses, leading some to question the movement's future. New York Times reporter Tripp Gabriel recently wrote, "The Tea Party might not be over, but it is increasingly clear that the election last month significantly weakened the once surging movement, which nearly captured control of the Republican Party through a potent combination of populism and fury." Joining us now from Washington, Michelle Fields, a conservative political commentator, and here in studio, Kathy Aru, a contributing editor for the Washington Post magazine. So I go to Michelle first. Big surprise, the New York Times pronouncing once again that the Tea Party is dead.
It's absolutely false. Look, what they're saying is that it's dead because of the November election. Obama got elected after the Tea Party folks put tons of effort into not getting him elected. But actually, if anything, that's not a loss for the Tea Party. That was a loss for the Republican establishment because the Tea Party was never on board with Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney never embraced the Tea Party, so it wasn't a loss for the Tea Party. And look, obviously the Tea Party folks aren't out there protesting like they were in 2010, but they still have tremendous influence. Just look at Boehner's proposal for the fiscal cliff. It was rejected. It wasn't embraced by conservatives on Capitol Hill, and the reason why is because it doesn't meet the Tea Party philosophy of lower taxes and smaller government.
So as you can see, what she was just saying was pretty much on point. Because the Tea Party was started by Ron Paul, Alex Jones movement, grassroots, who said, you know what, enough of this garbage. We know the government's corrupt. We know that Republicans and Democrats work together to screw the country over, run up the spending, and basically drive us into the ground. So the Tea Party movement is that real grassroots that know what's up. They know the real deal. And that's the movement that's terrifying. So when it really started growing, you had Republicans try to co-opt it and try to run as Tea Party candidates and say they're for limited government and lower taxes, when really they were just wolves in sheep's clothing. Even though Tea Party, they're not sheep, they're just really they're wolves too, because it's just like, look, we're gonna eat you, we're gonna cast you out if you're not for America, And they tried to run around and pretend to be patriots and trying to co-opt it until you had people running around saying, oh, I'm a Tea Party Republican. I'm a Tea Party Republican. People that's not even Tea Party Republicans. So the Washington Post, other liberal, outlets, and I've been seeing this. I forget this one guy, major liberal guy. He was saying that Tea Party, this isn't your country anymore, or something like that. You're not going to get your country back. That's what he was saying. These are quotes from liberals. Obama's going after the guns, and so what you got here is basically them trying to rub it in your face, if you are Tea Party, if you are for all patriots, all good Americans, that look, it's over, we're going to get the guns, you're trash, you're garbage, you're nothing. And Tea Party was never on board with Mitt Romney, his globalist self, who used to be a vulture capitalist and break down small businesses and consolidate them into big corporations. Of course we weren't for Romney. And we weren't for this fiscal cliff deal where Boehner came up with this socialist plan about taxing all income over $1 million and raising the rates. I mean, come on, we pay high ass taxes already. Let's continue.
Kathy, what do you make of that? Because basically what you're saying is that the Tea Party stuck to a principle,
right?
And it was more about the Republican Party not sticking to principles.
Well, the conservatives did not back Boehner and his Plan B. It wasn't the Tea Party. Actually, the Tea Party hasn't really been discussed much with the fiscal cliff. So I don't know how anyone can give them credit. They've lost appeal. They've lost many of their supporters. In Florida right now, they're down to like a third of who they had back in 2010.
But don't you think in a way they had jobs, so they moved on? It's like that's the one distraction they have is that they work for a living. Unlike Occupy Wall Street.
They don't have the luxury to go out on the street and hang out in parks. Look, they have jobs, and in this economy, some of them are working 3 jobs trying to feed their family, but they still have influence. They still hold the ability to ruin a politician's career by not voting for them again. Just because they're not out protesting doesn't mean they don't have influence. If they didn't have influence, we would have a deal right now. But it's that small government, low taxes, which is preventing this deal from happening.
They have so much influence that they actually hurt the Republicans into winning back the Senate. So that is how much influence they have.
Hold them
They completely screwed over the Republican Party into not having the Senate. They have put up so many idiots that you can name what states they've lost. Reid is there, thank goodness, for a Tea Party opponent he had.
Oh my gosh. No, absolutely not. They
So the Tea
hold
Party's not
Republicans
responsible
accountable.
Okay.
They hold Republicans accountable, so they don't come to Capitol Hill, they don't come to D.C. and start raising taxes. They don't.
They are killing
what they're
the very
doing.
party that they
But wait a
supposedly
minute.
are.
This is you can't be weak and kill a party at the same time, Kathy. The New York Times is saying it's look, they're on their way out. Meanwhile, they are controlling a party. Here's what I don't get.
I think they're losing influence. They are weakening, and I think that's what the article was.
Okay. This woman is obviously delusional. Speaker Boehner tried to pass the Plan B, which I don't even know, which basically, because Boehner is a globalist. Boehner isn't a real conservative or anything. He's not a patriot. He's not a patriot. He's a traitor. So he said, okay, I'm going to pass this. I'm going to come up with this bill taxing incomes, all income over $1 million. Basically just, if you get more than $1 million a year, you're a bad guy, you're scum, you don't get to keep what you earn. So of course it didn't make it through the House because the House has been partially liberated by real fiscal conservatives, real patriots. There's some running around there, and then you got a lot. Then you got some that's pretending to be that can't vote for certain stuff. So the movement is in the House. The Senate is the Senate is ran by Democrats, controlled by Obama. So you're gonna continue to have this gridlock. I don't know why they're trying to push this whole the Tea Party's dead when I think they're strong as ever.
They are losing their influence. They had it at a time. They were strong. The party is dying down. The
But look
numbers
at
are
some
dying
of the
down.
leaders, some of the Tea Party folks. Rand Paul is a star in the conservative movement. So to say that they have no influence and that they're dying out is absolutely false.
I think it's wishful thinking, Kathy, on the New York Times part, because the conditions that brought about the Tea Party aren't going away. So even if the Tea Party by name doesn't come back, there is still going to be that belief that there needs to be change.
The Tea Party just gave a name to a movement that was going to happen no matter what. People were not happy with the way the country was going, and they just jumped onto this wave that was happening. They named the wave. They didn't create the wave. So it's just a name that was given.
I think we're going to see a resurgence. With this fiscal cliff, I think we're going to see a resurgence of the Tea Party.
They've been absent so far. Where are they? They're not here for the fiscal cliff, so where are they?
Yes, they are. They're working.
I haven't seen them.
They don't have to be out protesting. They don't have to sit in a park and do nothing and play the drums. They're out in their community doing work. They're calling their congressmen. That's why you haven't seen a deal, because they're holding their members accountable.
They're a concept. They're not a party. They're a concept.
I mean, I find this interesting in the fact that the way the Tea Party is, if you're on the right and you believe in a principle, you're seen as extreme.
So basically, folks, as you can see, the propaganda continues from the left, if you even want to feed into the whole left-right paradigm, which is basically just 2 different slave reservations to divide the country. this is a real problem. There's gonna be a clash. It's gonna be big. They're gonna try to make it incremental, but I don't think a lot of people are gonna go for that. I mean, folks, there are millions and millions of people just like myself who know exactly what's going on and know the plan. So, I mean, even if some of us don't take action, I mean, you're still looking at a good couple million people that know what's up and that are completely fully awake, and then you got the people on the inside of the system who will leak information, who will resist in their own way. And don't worry, you know, the media, they're complicit in this whole thing. You know, the only reason you got Fox News up there acting like they're so hardcore and worried about America is because, hey, I mean, they're the alternative to MSNBC and CNN. I mean, they have to be, and they have an audience that they have to try to keep. And while they even pretend to be conservative, they have to at least pretend to be conservative because, you know, but when Bush was president, hey, everything goes, no holds barred. And then you had the liberals, you know, MSNBC, CNN were attacking Bush, and you know, that was how that was going. And everybody was on the MSNBC and CNN side. So, you know, it's just the fact that Obama's running around messing everything up. He's just the first black president. So it just makes everything okay, I guess. And liberals and, you know, black people are blind to him. The ones that are those blind Obama followers, they're pathetic, mentally pathetic, and spiritually pathetic. And no matter how much you try to talk to them, they can't get it through their thick heads that he's no good. So here you go. They're saying the Tea Party's dead. Little do they know, it's on fire right now. And you better get with it or get out the way.